Hello and welcome to another episode of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. On this episode, we are, I'm sorry, I screwed up that intro. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This week, we got Tony in the house, just me and Tony. Everyone else had stuff to do. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, nothing much. Good to see you again.
Yeah, as always, the two of us representing the Firearms Insider in the podcast, and overall just badass people. We all went to the NRA show in Louisville, Kentucky this last week. So it was pretty awesome. It was actually, the way they had it organized, it was hard to find Tony in the crowd, believe it or not. I had to text him and be like, where are you at? He's in 2200s. I'm like, I don't see you. But finally found him begging and pleading and groveling to manufacturers for some free stuff.
It's only begging, pleading, and groveling if you don't get the free stuff. When you get the free stuff, it's called business. I was doing business.
There you go, man. Well, I hope you got lots of business.
Yeah, we got lots of promises, lots of contacts, and I'll be exploiting that in the next week.
Nice. So, yeah, it was an awesome weekend. It was my first NRA show. How many NRA shows have you been to, man?
That was my first one.
Oh, cool. Samesies. So, after being at SHOT Show once and being the NRA show once, I can honestly say NRA show is the way to go. People are more open to networking and talking to the little guy, the individual. Whereas if you at SHOT Show, if you're not like representing some kind of police department or buying force, you're just a little guy with your hand out. They don't really give you much time of day unless you're carrying a video camera around or your name's Larry Vickers. But NRA show is pretty awesome. It was only one floor, so it wasn't a whole lot of like up and down walking and scrambling through a huge event center trying to find the booth you're looking for. So it was fairly easy to get to where you're back and forth to whatever manufacturer you were trying to talk to. And yeah, it was good. So I was there with Jake Challand. And there's lots of other Firearms Radio Network personalities there, including the We Like Shooting guys, Aaron, Jeremy, Sean. Let's see, who else did I see there?
Hank was there, but I mean, if somebody knows him from the old gun guys.
Yeah, Hank Hockey.
Yeah.
I roomed with Hank Hockey, which was my second time rooming with him. So we go back. Ryan Machad I got to meet for the first time. That dude he's pretty handsome up close. I mean, he's quite a guy. Little touchy-feely as far as the hugs, but it's all good. And see who else. Tony Simon was there.
Yeah, Tony Simon had a lot of fun there. I met everybody from the Firearms Radio Network. I thought it was a lot of fun. A bunch of gun geeks all together. Should have been there. I'm telling you, if you're an NRA member or not an NRA member, join the NRA for $25, $35 and go to one of the shows because it's really worth it. When you're standing there watching people whose YouTube videos you've watched just walk by, or there's Kyle Lamb, oh, there's Rob Pincus, there's Hickok 45, there's Tim from Military Arms Channel. I mean, they're all just in the crowd and they will stop and be nice to you.
Yeah. Oh, there's Bigfoot. Oh, wait, no, that's Zeke from Talking Lead, not Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's huge.
Actually, I should say Zeke from Sonoran Desert Institute.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, there was two events there for kind of our little podcasting gun guy community. First, we had the gun guy Q&A panel put on by John Patton from the Gun Collective. So Sean was there and Whitey from Four Guys Guns. And let's see, there was YouTubers there. There was Tim from Military Arms, Chad and Eric from Iraq Veteran 8888. Of course, Zeke on the very end. And 22 Plinkster was there somewhere in the middle too. So it was a cool event in a hotel kind of close to where the NRA show was, where basically they had a bunch of products they're giving away, like nice AR-15 accessories, holsters, ammo. U.S. Chemical Supply was there, and they had 600 pounds of binary explosive that they were giving away. And
They didn't shoot it this time?
no, they didn't shoot this time. They were giving it away. So whoever came up to the microphone and asked a question to one or multiple panelists, basically they would get a prize. And the panelists were throwing shirts and stuff in the crowd. Everybody who showed up got a mystery Patriot patch in a little envelope that Jake put together. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, like the kids would ask questions about, good questions like, what was the one gun you regret trading off or selling? And then they'd answer, and then he'd be like, all right, kid, come up here and grab your binary explosive.
Nice.
So it was pretty awesome, and getting to talk to those YouTubers. And so after that, just another couple hours, we had the Firearms Radio Network listener hangout at a different or meetup at a different restaurant, the Cardinal Hall Cafe, that I've been plugging for what seems like 3 or 4 episodes now. So that was a fun. We ate there first, and then as listeners started to show up, we moved to a reserved room where we all got together and meet. I got to finally meet FRN guys that I didn't get to see on the show floor. Quite a few listeners showed up and kind of met with us. My man Arturo was there. I haven't seen him since SHOT Show Vegas, so it was good seeing Arturo. Yeah, it was an awesome little event. Got loud. Drinks and samplers were going around, and the poor waitresses didn't know who needed to pay for what, whose tabs was whose. It was crazy.
Oh, it was awesome. I pull up, and there's in front of the place is Whitey, John Patton, Jeremy from We Like Shooting. Again, Whitey from 4 Guys Guns, John Patton from the Gun Collective. Who else was out there? Jake showed up while we were standing there. I'm like, okay, I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah, Gods and Guns. Troy was there, and his co-hosts. That's one more
really? Troy was there?
Yeah, he was kind of in the corner.
Oh, I missed him because, I was cursing like a sailor because, Jeremy and I, let's just say, immediately upon seeing each other, we started insulting each other and threatened each other with violence, and then we were best friends. It was like stepbrothers.
That's what Marines do, don't they?
Pretty much. So it was pretty cool because, Jeremy wants to make fat jokes, and I want to make, your big, tall, and stupid jokes, and it was great.
If you pick on the way he smells, that's usually what everyone else does.
But Jeremy was a cool guy, really nice. The fans, it was really cool meeting them and having dinner with the fans, and a lot of people were asking gun questions. You and I were sitting there together, and somebody was asking us about, what should you do, what should you buy, what should you be looking at. I think we gave him pretty good advice, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Nathan was there. I think that's his name, right? With his girlfriend, the small girl who wouldn't speak. But he was a great guy.
Yep.
I feel lucky. I got out there. Someone ran into me on the shot floor. I mean, not shot show floor. NRA floor. Show floor. Gave me a Kydex business card holster. I think his name was Keith or Kevin, but he was from Black Rhino Concealment, and they make Kydex holsters. So check them out online at, of course, blackrhinoconcealment.com. Because you gave me something free, I'll plug you, because I don't have to pay for any of the airtime here. So, but thanks a lot. It was really funny. I was having a conversation with some guys, and I saw this guy walk by, and he started swinging his head from left to right like he was totally confused, like he was hearing voices. Then he stops, and he peeks over behind the 2 guys I'm speaking to and goes, "Are you Tony Simon?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "Okay, I heard your voice, and I didn't know where it was coming from." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty funny." And of course, he gave this to me in its stealth gray, or as I like to say, battleship gray, the same old funky battleship gray that only became cool when they changed the name. But it's pretty cool. I really had a lot of fun. If you're an NRA member, make your way to Atlanta. Oh, and by the way, if you do, book your room now.
Yeah, book in advance.
We had an incident, and we had to find another hotel, mainly because the dead hooker that should have been in ours wasn't there, but it looked like they just carried her body out. And for $200 a room, I expect better. So we left that hotel and had to book another one, and we got lucky. But other than that, almost all hotel rooms were booked. So do not wait. I'm talking about at least, 3-4 months in advance. Book it, if not more.
Yeah. I mean, B&Bs go fast. Don't be afraid to look at other hotels that are, just, 5 miles away or 10 miles away, because, traffic is bad, depending on what city you're going to. But if you leave early enough, give yourself a couple hours, hour and a half, you'll get there. Obviously, having press passes like we did, it's kind of like having a VIP pass. You show up whenever. If you show up early and the doors aren't open, they let you in, and you get to look at the High Point booth without judging eyes gazing upon you. But it was good. Now, onto the products that we saw. There wasn't a lot that stood out to me personally as oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You see a lot of kind of what I'd refer to as sequels to previous products. Did you see anything out there that was really caught your eye, Tony?
As being new and extraordinary, the only thing I saw, of course, was from Nighthawk Customs, that they're selling the Korth revolvers now. Those were awesome. I'd never seen those before. Very high-end revolvers. They are everything everyone says about them. Yeah,
$3,000 or $4,000 revolver with the Nighthawk logo on it.
Yeah, I have no idea how much. I have no idea how much added value the Nighthawk logo was, but the Korth revolvers are top of the line revolvers that leave the pythons, which are no longer made, by the way, in the smoke, in the dust. But yeah, that's an heirloom piece, and the only way I'll win something like that is a lottery win, maybe.
Yeah. See, for me, I did go to the Silencer Co. booth, and I got to hold their Maxim 9. Basically, it's an upper on a prototype lower. The lower took a Glock magazine, but it was still like a 3D printed type of lower frame until they finally flesh out the design. But the upper half was there with the integral suppressor. Those things are awesome, folks. That's going to be a must-have for me. I'm obviously a stamp collector. I don't mind waiting the 6 to 8 months to get something in my trust. But that is a cool gun. It's got Glock sights. It's got dovetails, so it took the Glock rear sight and the Glock front sight. So hopefully, I don't know about the front sight, but hopefully you'll be able to change them out for whatever you want. Something like a suppressor height, so that you could see co-witness with a red dot. Hopefully they'll be able to mill out the slide for a red dot sight, or at least put something tritium on there for night sights, because there's really no attachment point for flashlights yet. Yeah. Give the guys at Laser Max or Streamlight a couple months to figure it out. But if you can't mount a flashlight on there, it's good to get some tritium sights on there, so just for some low light shooting. But it's awesome, and it's a lot lighter than you expect. When you look at that thing, that freaking huge Judge Dredd looking pistol, it's not as heavy as you think it would be. And actually, the prototypes they said that the real ones would be actually a little bit lighter. But yeah, I definitely need to have one of those in my life, because they are the future of what is a suppressor, what is an NFA item. As far as price point goes, I think they said somewhere under 16, $1,600, which seems like a lot, but you pay for the pistol and you pay for the tax stamp, because it's integrally suppressed, and that's it. You're not buying a suppressor, buying a pistol, adding them together, throwing another stamp in there. So it actually is pretty economical, and they're working on a way to shorten the suppressor part, to maybe be able to take out a couple baffles, much like the Micro 22 and the Salvo 12. So that way, it's obviously in its full configuration, hearing safe with both supersonic and subsonic ammunition, so 115 grain all the way to 147 grain. But they're experimenting with taking out 2 baffles, and so you can reassemble it in a shorter configuration, maybe save you about an inch in overall length, and if it's still hearing safe with 115, or whether you need to stick with the 124s and 147s after that. But to me, that's what I wanted to see most of all at the show. See, was there anything else that really stuck out to me?
Well,
go ahead.
The one thing I want to express, and a ton of people blew it off, but some people did take advantage, is the classes, the seminars they have. Rob Pincus, Lieutenant Grossman, all of them had classes there for free. They had personal protection inside the home, which is a 4-hour class for NRA class. That was, again, free of charge. So, I mean, there was a lot of educational opportunity at the NRA show over that 3 to 4 day period of time that really a lot of people didn't take full advantage of, and you should.
Yep.
Because, again, it's my favorite 4-letter word besides food, and that's free.
Yeah, I just surmise the event. Go to NRA shows. Next year is going to be in Atlanta. I won't be able to make it to that because I'm getting married, and I can't make it then. But the year after that, 2018, is going to be in Dallas, Texas, and I will be all over that. So,
yeah, I make no promises for Dallas.
Yeah. Well, TJ, I guess TJ, he said he's only within like 6 or 8 hours of both Dallas and Atlanta, being in Louisiana. So he'll fill in for me next year, and then I'll finally get to meet him in person probably in 2018. But like if you're like a small business owner and you want to network, NRA shows the way to go. Because even if you can't afford a booth, obviously you've got to like reserve a booth way in advance too. Just being there representing Patriot Patch Co., I passed out so many patches, and I think I got a lot of both YouTubers and manufacturers interested in getting some custom patches made. So just going around and starting conversation, giving away something free to somebody, especially if they're working in the booth and they're the ones that are used to having the hands outreach to them, like, hey, give me free stuff. Giving, like, hey, here's some patches, and yeah, how's your show doing? And more often than not, they want to talk about what you just gave them and what's it cost you, and pretty soon it turns into a possible business connection later on down the road. So I was extremely successful in NRA show as Patriot Patch, just giving away all these patches. I mean, we even driving up to the NRA show the first day, we were stuck in traffic behind a truck that had a Patriot Patch sticker in their back window, and we thought that was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. I'm to everyone I met at the NRA show. It was fantastic meeting you. And now that we're kind of past all that recap and highlights, we'll get into the announcements. So the bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. I just added new patches to the website for pre-order today, so this is brand new stuff. We've gotten a lot of people that like the 8-bit Legend of Zelda inspired patches. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this, and it's got some kind of weapon on there. So we've done the AK, we've done the M4 carbine, we've gotten the AUG bullpup. Now we just added a undead survival pack. So basically, people have been asking, hey, you should do a pistol, like a suppressed pistol. Hey, you should do a shotgun. And I kind of was like, hey, we should do a chainsaw. So we have a 3-pack that's ready for pre-order. And it is a suppressed pistol with a red dot sight and a flashlight. There's a 12-gauge shotgun, and there's a chainsaw. So 3 patches, and you can get all 3 for $29.87. So that's available for pre-order on our website right now, patriotpatchco.com or patriotpatch.co. We've also got the Tactical Tux pre-order, and that's a tuxedo with a plate carrier on it. And then we've also got an Appeal to Heaven patch, which is the pine tree flag used in the Revolutionary War. Basically, to summarize it for you, the king was like, yo, I want those pine trees. And the colonists were like, hey, these are our pine trees, man. We need them. And so the colonists started to use the pine trees that had the king's kind of mark cut into them. And the king was like, I'm going to fine you guys if you keep cutting down using my trees. And so we turned the trees into warships, and we flew this pine tree flag on top of them. So that's basically your history lesson. So we got that flag available.
And now you know.
And now you know. So then we also have the sci-fi 2-patch bundle, which features 2 patches that are reminiscent of a very popular yet canceled TV show and 1 movie called Serenity. So check that out on the website. There's that change in the Patriot Sweat giveaway. So you're gonna have to comment on the Firearms Insider reviews and the current show notes. We just want to encourage listener participation onto the websites, and basically at the end of the month, I will select 2 people who commented kind of randomly and send them some patches. So I already sent out the patches from April, and those guys have received them and liked them. So I am, fulfilling my promise there. So you're gonna have to comment on both of those websites in order to be involved in the new giveaway. Also, there's a giveaway that the Gun Collective is doing right now for the archetype ammunition displays. They're basically exploded views of ammunition. So there's 250 BMGs and 120 millimeter, and they're kind of customized and branded with the TGC logo. So I got the link in the show notes to get there. It's the website, theguncollective.com, to enter, and that ends on May 29th. So them's the announcements. Now we're going to get into the main product spotlight. First up, Smith & Wesson brought a new shield to the market. So they've already got the Shield 9 and the Shield 40. Now they've added the M&P 45 shield. So as the name entails, it is 45 auto, or as you might know it as 45 ACP. So they've added it to their line of shields, which it's kind of good to see. There's a lot of people that love the shield to death, both the 9 and the 40. So now there's a 45 version. The MSRP is $479, which is $30 higher than both the 9 and the 40 versions already on the market. The round count, you're looking at a 7 or 6 round, not counting the +1 in the chamber. So essentially, it's got the same capacity as the 40 shield. As far as the weight goes, it looks like it is 20.5 ounces. While the Shield 40 was 19 ounces, same with the Shield 9. So it looks like it's an extra 1.5 ounces heavier. I do notice some significant changes in the grip. For instance, kind of in the Smith & Wesson Shield kind of had a front and a rear strap. Obviously, it's got that rear back strap, but that center area, that kind of river in between those two masses, is now got the same kind of cobblestone texture as the 2 straps. So they kind of filled in that area with some more grip texture. Also, the front cocking serrations have been added where I don't see them in the 9 and 40 versions. So basically, the little kind of relief to where your takedown lever would be able to actuate, they've added some cocking serrations right there on the front. So there's there's the 45 version, and I don't think they have a ported version out yet, but you can probably look forward to that in the near future. There is, like all the other shields, a thumb safety and non-thumb safety version, and those are the same price. So Tony, man, what do you think about this?
I think a lot of people want a 45, so they came out with the 45. They're, of course, dragging their feet. I guess they want something for SHOT Show when they come out with a Performance Center 45 shield, but that's pretty much what I'd probably wait on after shooting the 9mm Performance Center shield, which was awesome. It had better sights. It had high-vis sights, which I like. And but these things, I want to shoot one, but they don't come out until next month. Actually, they don't ship until next month. So I might bump into one near a range near me, and I'll be taking pictures of it and letting you guys know as soon as I pull the trigger on it.
Nice.
But yeah, the subcompact gun, a 45 in a subcompact gun probably shoots a lot better than the 40 in the subcompact gun.
Yeah. It would still benefit greatly from the ported variant, the Performance Center. So if you're going to get one, I might hold off till next SHOT Show to see if that gets released. because that should be a little bit more smoother shooting. But I mean, I love 45 in every barrel length that it comes in. Well, besides the Heiser defense, the real small guys, where the tip of the bullet almost passes the muzzle. But I'm pretty excited about this.
I don't know if that's a gun company or a dare. It's like seem like I bet you won't do it.
Yeah, their motto should be, "Hey, hold my beer."
Nice.
Yeah. So basically, if you're a fan of the 45 and you're been looking for a subcompact, this fits in the same category as like the the Springfield XDS in 45. If you like that idea, but you're not a big fan of Springfields, or it's just kind of nice, another 45 in that same range.
Oh, the thing about the shields or their triggers are usually better than their full-size MMPs, or at least that used to be the case. I know the ones I've shot, really good triggers. I mean, good triggers, not really good, but a good trigger. So hopefully this continues on. And like most companies, that Precision Center, excuse me, I can't even think of the name of it now. Did I get it right? Yeah, Smith & Wesson Precision Center.
Performance Center.
Performance Center, thank you. Wow, my brain just locked up on the word precision. Performance Center version. If you can wait for it, because I think the upgrades to it would be worth the wait.
Yeah. My dad actually just got his concealed pistol license in this last year, and we haven't quite gotten him a gun yet. He's been kind of weighing. Every gun owner who wants to conceal carry has to make the decision in their life whether they want to go 9 or 45 or somewhere in the middle, 40. My dad's a big guy. I mean, he's got big hands. His hands are probably the same size as yours. So I think he'd be fine with the 45. He said, "Oh, I'll just carry my 1911 that I bought him." He's not like an old military man, so it's not like he chose the 45 out of stubbornness. That's just what he had. He was like, "Oh, I'll carry this 1911." I'm like, no, you won't. But this would be I think he was kind of interested in the shields, and he couldn't make up his mind between 40 and 9, and I think now he will make up his mind and get the 45. We've got lots of that ammunition. He's got the upper body strength to handle the recoil. It would probably feel like 9 to him, whereas me shooting it, it's I'd be a little bit more feeling that recoil impulse. So I'm definitely interested in seeing this at the store and maybe talking my dad into getting one.
Cool.
Yeah. So I got the link in the show notes for that. The next up, there's a lot of arm braces at the NRA show. The good old stabilizing pistol brace that everybody uses to exactly how it's designed. Nobody would dare nefariously choose to use an arm brace to circumvent the NFA laws for short-barreled rifles. Nobody would think that. So we're going to be talking about the evolution of the arm brace a little bit today. So, you've got the classic SIG SB15 arm brace. It's very chunky. Well, it looks like SB Tactical, which, if I believe I've read correctly, they helped the SIG and that Veterans Foundation behind the SB15 brace. They've actually released a new brace called the SBM4, and this brace looks a lot more like an M4 stock in that it has a window kind of cut out of the middle, like a Magpul MOE or CTR stock. It's still an arm brace. It's still got a hole for you to put your arm through, and then a Velcro strap to secure it to your arm. But it's designed to look like a little bit more of a M4 style stock. Excuse me. Of course, it's lighter because they've removed some of that material. It's a little bit thinner as well, and it's got enhanced cheek weld ergonomics. And if you're not watching the video, I did a air quotes with my fingers, cheek weld ergonomics, because you can legally fire an arm brace attached to an AR pistol when you're using just your cheek as contact, but you're not supposed to let it contact with your shoulder. You can have it contact any other point on your body, your forehead, your butt, your thigh, yeah, center of your chest. But the second it touches your shoulder, that's a no-go. So supposedly it's got better ergonomics up on the cheek area so you can get a nice stable contact with your cheek when you're shooting. Basically, it's an evolution of the arm brace, the SIG arm brace, and I think it looks a lot better. People that were putting this on their AR-15s so they can have a shorter barrel and appeal to the crowd that didn't really want to quite commit to an SBR yet, but they like the look of a shorter barrel. I think it's cool. So it's $149.99. That's about what it cost for the original brace, so that doesn't surprise me. What do you think about this, man?
I think it's a great idea that they sleek this up. It's, of course, it's stupid. Let's understand. A dumb law necessitated this. Now, all of a sudden, this is an arm brace, but it's not a shoulder stock. And like you said, you can put it on every other part of your body except your shoulder, where it becomes illegal and it turns into something else automatically. But if I lived in a state where I could legally have this, I'd love this thing. And I would never, ever break the law by putting it to my shoulder. I would always have it resting on my cheek. And I just cheek the snot out of this thing. I'll tell you right now, when the weather's I want an SBR really bad, but in New Jersey, they've put so many hurdles in front of us. It's ridiculous. We can have one, but it has to weigh less than 50 ounces. We can have a pistol, excuse me. It has to weigh less than 50 ounces and not have all kinds of rules. It just makes your head spin. If you can get one, because I think it will really be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a SB15 before, and it's kind of so big and clunky, the original design, that what I would do is I'd take those two wings that are designed to wrap around your forearm and actually curl them inside themselves to kind of shorten the overall total height of the brace, and then I'd use the Velcro strap to kind of hold those together. So it'd kind of make more of like a tubular. Of course, I still wouldn't shoot it from the shoulder. It's just I would never use it on my forearms because I couldn't get a sight picture unless I turned it sideways, like a dual wielding gangster. So I've since gotten rid of that, and obviously I have an SBR now.
My only question is, how much does this weigh?
I'm not seeing the total weight in their website description, unfortunately. I'm sure you could find it elsewhere once it starts getting listed on like Brownells and Midway, where they have a specifications tab.
True.
So if you're in the market for a stabilizing pistol brace that looks a little bit more nicer, cleaner compared to the old version or the original versions, check out the SB Tactical. So yeah, they did the SB15, the SB45, and the SBX are designed specifically for firearms, and those are only exclusively sold through those specific manufacturers. So the SBX is sold through Sig Sauer, a company, their MPX. The SB47 is specifically sold through Century Arms, and same with the SB15. The originals is through Sig Sauer. They've also got an SB5, which is a little bit more reminiscent of it's basically for an MP5 style of pistol. So it kind of looks like the SB5, the SD stock, fixed stock, but it's not. It's a brace. Don't shoulder it. You'll make the ATF cry and come after you. Interestingly enough, though, we're not going to talk about it too much, but at the NRA show, I did see that SIG has a new stabilizing pistol brace for their MPX that's actually length of pull adjustable. So it's a collapsing pistol brace, not a stock, which makes you even think harder about, why are all this red tape and loopholes, and this is ridiculous. Why don't they just throw away the SBR laws? Well, we're getting there. We're trying to. But it makes sense. Not everyone's arms are the same. Not everyone has the same forearm build. how muscular and meaty your forearms kind of dictates how well those braces work, their original designed function. So having it adjustable for length of stock to get shorter and longer to fit your arm better makes a lot of sense ergonomically. But to everyone else that's not handicapped and doesn't intend to use it braced to their arm as intended, rather to shoot it from a cheek weld and have it hover your shoulder by, however many inches, not contacting it. It does seem a little ridiculous that, they got away with that, really?
Yeah, I saw a really cool version they have for the Vector from Chris. They call it the Vector PSB. That's pretty cool, too. I'd really, really, really want an SBR. And this is as close as a lot of guys in a lot of states can get. Or if you just don't want to spend that extra $200 on a tax stamp, it's the way to go. And it's a lot of fun. Everything in the gun industry doesn't have to be about self-defense or from the rooftops or any of that. Some stuff is just fun, and this looks like a lot of fun.
So next we're going to talk about this upper. I didn't actually see this at the NRA show. This is something that I saw a couple weeks ago, and I just now getting it into a show. This is an upper for a Ruger pistol, like a Ruger 2245. It might work on a Ruger Mark III as well. What this is a integrally suppressed 22 upper to fit on the Ruger 22 pistol. It's made by the company Fightlight, and they call it the Step 22 LS. You could also call it the integrally suppressed Ruger pistol receiver. So it's $699, not including the tax stamp that would be involved. But basically, it's a monolithic design. The weight is 24.3 ounces when mounted onto a Ruger 2245 frame. The overall length is 11 inches. The barrel length itself is only 2.5 inches. So it's not a real long barrel on your 22 pistol. It's got K baffles that are user serviceable. They are modified K baffles. The sound reduction is up to 40 decibels. It does have integral 1913 Picatinny rails at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions. So top rail that goes all the way from end to end. It's really nice for you can mount your optics, with however you want. Lots of room for optic space. And the bottom, you've got room for your flashlights or lasers or flashlight laser combos. It's 100% made in the USA. It's got a nice Class 2 hard coat, black anodized finish. So basically, if you wanted to turn your... actually, it works on the... Let's see. I think all the Ruger pistols here. Designed readily to interchange with the standard receiver on all popular Ruger Mark I, Mark II, Mark III, and 2245 pistols without any tools or gunsmithing required. So if you've got a Ruger pistol...
The only two Ruger pistols left out was the Charger and the SR-22.
Yep. Now, no tools required, but if you can disassemble a Mark III with no tools, I want to give you a trophy and a certificate of being awesome, because those are difficult pistols to disassemble. Basically, this would be like a competitor to like the Tactical Solutions Packlight. And I didn't bring that up to compare the MSRPs directly, but this is a lot more of an aggressive design that's got the Picatinny on it, whereas the Packlight, at least the one I have, doesn't go all the way across, and I had to have a gunsmith actually drill and tap and mount an under rail for lights and lasers. So this actually saves you all that trouble by giving you one right out of the gate. I happen to think this is awesome. I imagine it would fit on like most full Quartzen builds use the 2245 frame, so it's very similar to that. Basically, if you got a Ruger pistol frame, one of those 4 or 5, then this will be good to go on that.
Yeah, Tactical Solutions upper, it's $399. That's without the suppressor.
Yeah,
for a 4.5 inch barrel. It's $315. Excuse me.
Yeah, and this has the suppressor on there, which is amazing. It's a little. It says 2.5 barrel length, And so that suppressor's only 2.5 inches, or it may be because it's integrally built in. The baffles and the structure that where the gases expand must be a little bit larger than 2.5, because that seems a little of a short amount of area for that gas to expand in the volume to be subsonic.
Oh, no,
Sound good.
I think the barrel length itself is 2 inches of the actual pistol barrel, and then the rest is suppressor.
Oh, okay. So it's not a technically integrally suppressed barrel. It's an integrally suppressed upper that has a barrel and then baffles in front of it. That makes more sense. That's correct. I should have figured that out before I did the show, but you guys have been listening for this long, and you know this is how I roll. So I make no apologies. Sorry, not sorry.
Nice.
I don't see a front or rear sight on this setup, so it looks like it is specifically designed to be used with an optic of some kind, which is kind of a shame, but a lot of people just skip the irons and go straight to some kind of red dot anyway.
Yeah, especially with these. I mean, stop. Just stop. I mean, if you're going with Tactical Solutions, more than likely you're doing the optic also. Plus, it's a competition gun or a plinking gun. I don't know if anybody has their 22-45 set up for home defense and have no iron sights in case their irons go down.
It's a fantastic hunting setup too. I mean, I've shot quail and other like grouse when I'm out hunting in the mountains. You know, and there's obviously open season on those kind of game birds while you're hunting big game. This is a fantastic having a 22 pistol that can dispatch those small game quietly, and then you can just pick them up and keep going and looking for the big game that you're looking for. And then obviously at the range with kids, this is a winner because kids shooting suppressed is an awesome combination. It's less intimidating. It's more enjoyable. They can hear the bullet impacting the targets, which adds to that like wow factor and really gets them hooked.
It also takes away the intimidation and the flinch that a lot of people suffer from when they get into shooting firearms. The suppressor just removes a lot of that and makes it a lot easier for introduce a new shooter to something, even a 22 pistol.
Yeah. So it looks like it'll still use your Ruger bolt that your gun came with or your lower came with. So don't go selling that bolt if you're selling your upper to pay for this build. And then obviously because it's got a suppressor integrated, you're gonna have that wait time, and hopefully you have a trust to make that easier on you. If I didn't already have a suppressed 22 setup pistol, I'd be all over this in a heartbeat. If money was no object, I would still be all over it just so I have a second one.
The cool things about these, though, they sell unsuppressed uppers also. So if you like the cool look of this, they have these with 7-inch barrels on them that are unsuppressed. For people that live in horrible places like myself that can't have a suppressor but want something that looks really cool, this pretty much nails it.
Yeah, and if you already have a 22 suppressor, that's direct thread, you can get this upper with the threaded barrel, and then you just use your existing can. So there's also that route too. So they got the Step 22 KT for $379, and they have the Step 22 T for $399. So the difference between those is the barrel length. The KT is 4.5 inches, and the T is 7 inches long. So that's a pretty good option too if you've already got a can.
Lucky people.
What they need to do is make 80% Ruger 2245 lowers that you can finish out in your shop. They got them for Glocks. They got them for 1911s. If they made it for the Ruger Mark III or the Ruger 2245 and 80% that you just finish out with a drill press, that would be cool.
And truthfully, they probably can easier doing that with SR22. I mean, it is polymer. I guess so is the 2245, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Yep. So that's the products for this week. We kind of blew through them kind of quickly. Only two guys talking, so certainly speeds it up. So the main topic, we do not have a FI review because some loser keeps skipping out on the show. Actually, Chad had something to review, but some family related came up, so he's got priorities. I wouldn't diss him too bad because out of all of us, he's been keeping the reviews coming in the last month or two. So, can't hate on him too bad because he is keeping it up.
Yeah, Chad's been putting in the work. I mean, and you have to take into account his age and the fact that he has to catch Matlock and then nap time, and then so it's pretty good, man. I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah, I mean, retired life's doing him well.
Hey, listen, and he's not here because bingo's important, and somebody's got to play. So we'll see him next week and see if he's rolling in dough.
There you go. So we don't have any listener feedback to report this week. So now is the time where I let this gentleman take the floor and talk about his Second Is for Everyone diversity shoots.
My Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot is coming up on June 9th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. I put a little work in over the weekend, let's say, trying to get some more cool stuff to actually be either given away or raffled off. You'll be seeing that on June 9th. But what I really want to talk about today is people that live in states with good laws like Kentucky that we just left. You need to join your Second Amendment advocacy groups in the state you live in, even if you have awesome gun laws, because politicians are lazy. And when the psycho nut job right infringing douches in places like mine put forth legislation that gets passed, places that have awesome gun laws as far as us gun owners are concerned, their anti-gun element gets all motivated, and they try to do the same thing there. And if you're not paying attention to what's happened politically, all of a sudden you can get blindsided by a new gun law that makes whatever you do impossible or illegal. So join a Second Amendment firearms group wherever the heck you're from to find out, just to know all the time what's going on. It's like 25, 35, maybe even $40 a year from maybe your local state group. But please get involved just so you don't get blindsided by stupid gun laws, and they do happen. So that's what I'm using my time up for today. Thanks a lot, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. So that's the show. We definitely got underneath an hour this week, so that's good for everyone who's too busy to listen to an hour and a half of us going. So send questions or comments to the email address gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review if you'd like. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv, and be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and industry coverage. We posted some pictures from the NRA show, both on my personal Instagram account, Hunter of Design, as well as the Firearms Insider Facebook page. So I posted some highlights there. Check out Tony's Instagram account, Simon Says Train, for some more coverage, some awesome memes. Right, buddy?
Oh yeah, we there's a hot one coming. I'll just leave it at that. Also, train. Get some training. A lot of us blow that off. I mean, really, any training you can get, firearms training, go ahead and take it. Even if it's a shorter class or not a whole day with a national level trainer. Find a decent one, go over some reviews, and find one close to you. Even do a half-day class. It doesn't cost too much, and it's not a real high round count. It'll tell you what you don't already know. You'll learn, what is it? You don't know what you don't know. And once you take a class, you'll find out exactly what you don't know. And it can only benefit you. It's just more education as a gun owner, so we don't make stupid mistakes like they've been showing up on the news lately with the lady shooting at a shoplifter in the store. It's like, what's wrong with you, lady? Get some training so you don't do stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And I got to say controversial stuff like, 45 beats 9mm, 40 is an obsolete cartridge, Burger King is better than McDonald's, and send all the hate mail to Ryan Cross.
Ted
Thanks.
Cruz is a Zodiac killer, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Why doesn't he like Zodiacs? Those are pretty cool boats.
Yeah, right. Also, I mean, if you've already had training and basically you're rolling your eyes or you think you don't need training because you go to the range 2 times a week and your groups are tight, that's not force-on-force training, first off. So if you think you're all that, you need to go somewhere where they actually do some simunation or some UTM training rounds where you're actually shooting back at, you're getting shot back at, and you're having to deal with that. Secondly, I would add, and this is something that I actually heard, I think either Whitey or Sean Heron say at the Gun Guy Q&A, is that get medical training. A lot of us, not me, but a lot of us podcasters who do this training thing take medical training, so they know how, when and how to apply a tourniquet, how to stop blood loss, how to medically treat somebody who's had a very serious injury, because that's a very big half of the equation when you're in an incident, be it a crisis, a natural disaster, an act of God, or an active shooter. You need to have the training to be able to treat yourself, or else you're just going to be waiting for the paramedics along with everyone else. So I'd encourage you to do that someday when I have more time. I will not be a hypocrite, and I would actually have that done myself. But for now, it's a dream that I'm saving up for.
Jeff Bluvman from Armed Dynamics had a class called 10-Minute Medicine, and it was really scheduled when we were up in Monroe, PA. That's what I was going to take, and I missed his because I have my combat training, of course, in the military. But they've changed a lot of that. They've upgraded. Just things have changed, and it's better. When I was in, the last thing you would do is apply a tourniquet. Now it's like one of the first things you do is apply a tourniquet. So training has changed, and there's a reason to get it upgraded. And like you said, as gun owners, more than likely you'll still use medical treatment that you learned before you'll ever use your firearm in today's world. And there's nothing better than a gun owner that's able to save a life. In the active shooter, we did some active shooter training here at Department of Corrections. You know, when the police come in during an active shooter scenario, they're not going to allow medical personnel in until they clear the building. And that could be anywhere from 10 minutes to 10 hours. In the case of not the mall shooting in Kenya, but the incident that happened in India, Mumbai, it took them 10 days to clear the hotel. Can you imagine being in a room with someone wounded and watch them bleed out over a 2 or 3 day period, or, hours long, and you not know how to help them out medically? Learn how to do this stuff just so you're an asset to mankind itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's my little rant on training, and yeah, you're right, Ryan. That's a pretty good call on your part.
Yep. And like I said, I think I heard John Patton, Whitey, and Sean, and basically everyone on that Q&A panel echo that same thing of what they've taken. So not my words. I haven't done it yet myself, so don't call me out on being a hypocrite, but I'm just kind of relaying helpful advice that I promise that I'm going to take that training as well. Because as gun owners, we're not just killers. We're not we're not purely focused on offense. At least we shouldn't be. We need to be focused on the aftermath of a shooting. Whether it's bullets that came out of your gun, you hit the perp, but you also had a pass through and it hit somebody else, or you're purely a first responder by incident, or just by the fact that you being there, having to help somebody and save a life, because that's our most important thing as gun owners, is that we want to save our lives. We want to save the loved lives of our loved ones. We're not all about rooting, shooting, tooting. It's all about protecting the life and preserving life. So we really encourage you to look into that. So I'm starting to repeat myself and ramble on. It's the end of the episode. I'm just going to close her out. I'll catch you all guys on the next week. Stay safe. Go shooting if you can. And I will catch you on the next episode.
All right. See you guys next week.